Good evening. You are looking at the final fusion to renewed edition rocket, standing at Pad 1B at the National Space Center in Euresia. We are currently just under 9 minutes away from today's launch. Everything has been proceeding great during the countdown today, unlike our previous attempts earlier this week. Inside the fairing today is another batch of Juno Link satellites. Juno Link is our spacecraft communications network, which is currently deployed in low Drew orbit. Juno Link is a game changer for customers that require persistent communication in what would usually be a dead zone. In the near future, we will be expanding Juno Link to serve the moons of Drew and possibly other planets. Inside the fairing today are 10 of these satellites. They'll be adding to a network of approximately 227 satellites. If you remember our last launch, you'll know that it did not go to plan. Let's take a look at what went wrong. On November 6th at 20:30 GMT, Fusion 2 lifted off from Pad 1B. Carrying 10 Juno Link satellites on board, the vehicle ignited all 12 Aeolus engines as expected. Shortly after liftoff, one of the Aeolus engines had a catastrophic failure accompanied by numerous fires in the engine bay. These fires ravaged through sensors and engine hardware throughout the flight, causing numerous engine shutdowns. Shortly after Max Q, the automatic flight termination system was triggered due to the number of engine shutdowns exceeding our safety boundary. All debris fell within our CASA-enforced exclusion zones, and no injuries were reported. After a thorough investigation, we've established the root cause of the failure. The seals for the autogenous pressurization lines in the Aeolus engines were found to have degraded over the course of multiple booster reuses. This allowed gases to escape into the engine bay and ignite. This phenomenon has been observed in the past, but never to such a catastrophic extent. For today's flight, we're testing out modifications to the seals which are intended for use on our next launch vehicle. As the countdown proceeds to F2RE's final launch, everything continues to look good. Propellant loading is scheduled to wrap up in a little under 30 seconds.
Propellant loading complete.
With the completion of propellant loading on both stages, teams will begin prepping the vehicle for launch. Prior to liftoff, we'll see the strongback arm move away from the launch vehicle. This will mitigate damage to any critical propellant lines.
Strong back retract.
You can now see those strongback arms retracting away from the top of the second stage. With this being the last launch of F2RE, it is worth noting that we will not be attempting to recover the first stage today. After launch, the first stage will attempt a water landing demonstration to verify some new software for our replacement launch vehicle. During the boost back burn, we will be intentionally disabling a randomly selected engine to stress test some new targeting software. And during the landing burn, we will be attempting a short hover maneuver to test throttling accuracy. We expect the first stage to make a hard impact in the ocean afterwards.
Tanks are pressing.
The propellant tanks are now being conditioned for launch. The ground team is also in final preparations for handover to the flight computer.
Pad gas closeouts. Flight computer enabled.
The flight computer has now taken over from the ground teams. At T-30 seconds, we will hear the flight director clear F2IE for its final liftoff.
Go for launch.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. Go Juno Link. Thank you for your service, F2RE.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
ELS chamber pressures nominal.
Seconds into F2RE's final flight. Everything is looking good. Next up is Max Q.
Max Q.
F2R has passed through the greatest stress period during the ascent phase. In a little over a minute, we will shut down the 12 ELS engines on the first stage and separate the second stage. We'll then ignite the Euresia vacuum engine for the last time to send the payload into orbit. Meanwhile, the first stage will make its way down to the ocean for its landing tests.
Miko,
Stage separation.
ELS vac ignition.
booster boost back startup.
Fairing separation.
Beautiful views of the first stage making its way home. You can see that randomized engine out on the GUI. The second stage has also just separated its fairings.
Boost back shutdown.
And with that, the first stage is coming home for one last time.
Stage 2 trajectory nominal. Seco.
Nominal parking orbit.
Sounds like we're in a good parking orbit. We won't be broadcasting the payload deployment today, but you can stay up to date on our socials for confirmation of deployment. Now all of our attention can turn to the first stage, which is currently descending using its actuating fins.
Booster FTS is saved. Booster is transonic. Booster landing startup.
Looks like we have water. There's that quick hover width to engines.
Booster landing shut down.
And into the water for the first stage. What a spectacular send-off. That wraps up our final launch of Fusion to Renewed Edition, and our final launch of 2025. We'd like to congratulate all of our teams on what has been a very successful year. We launched 12 rockets which carried a total of 99 satellites into orbit successfully. And along the way we broke records and set new ones. 2026 is shaping up to be our biggest year yet, and if you want to stay up to date, you can follow our social media accounts. Until then, thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope to see you again next time. Goodbye.